Hi, my name is Laura Mehl.
And I'm Nadia Rashan.
And you're listening to My Younger Artist. Hi, welcome back to My Younger Artist. My name is Laura Renee Mehl, and you're listening to a solo episode. Every other week, Nadia and I switch off, so we have our episodes together, and then the next week, either I will do a solo episode or Nadia will do a solo episode. And if you're with us, this is our second season, so thank you for joining us. If you're new, awesome, welcome. You have some content to go back and listen to. And if you've been here, hi, love you. Today is my birthday. I am 32. Woo! And one of the things that I've been joking a lot about and talking a lot about is the fact that I'm going to title my memoir "Kicking and Screaming," parentheses, and throwing up. Potentially. We might not keep the "and throwing up." But one of the things that I've noticed about working in this industry is that, well, first off, it's exhausting. Second off, it is something that is hard, obviously. I think that every industry has its struggles, but the entertainment industry, in my mind, is one of the hardest things to do because not only do you have to obviously fulfill what someone is looking for in auditioning and also whenever you're performing, and have a bunch of technique, acting, singing, dancing behind everything that you're doing, you're also overcoming a lot of mental barriers that either you put in place or someone else put in place, but somehow they are there and you have them. And I think it's very easy to discount that whenever you don't realize, it's normal to have mental barriers, but it's another thing to have a mental barrier that you're working through while other people are actively watching you. And often it's things that you don't want to do, or maybe you want to do it because you want the end result, but the work through process is really, really hard. So, for instance, whenever you're auditioning, this is a simple one. A lot of the time you have to sign up in advance. And if you don't sign up in advance, or you can't sign up in advance, you have to show up very early in the morning. And that means you have to want to be there, really want to be there, especially whenever you're commuting, because everyone commutes, especially into New York. Either in New York, into New York, you're commuting. You're either getting on the subway or the train, or you're going to deal with traffic. And that is always going to be a lot to show up, to get in line, to potentially maybe get seen, or just to do an audition, which is going to take up maybe the actual audition itself, maybe 5 minutes max. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. And that is a lot to expect of yourself and ask of yourself when you know that it is not a lot of time that you're spending. You know that there's a potential future, but you don't know what it is or whether or not it's actually going to happen. And to doll up, warm up, focus all of your energy on 30 seconds in a day or 5 minutes in a day is a lot. I think it's a lot emotionally and also mentally to jump through all the hoops and be prepared for anything that happens when you walk in that room. And that's just a normal thing that we do, let alone deciding that you're going to create your own work. Whenever I started writing Moonshine, I did it for fun. And then I was like, wait, maybe this is good. And I put it in front of people and they were like, this is good. If you don't know, Moonshine is my musical that I've written. And it has had 2 different readings. One that was just private, another that had music and was just an informal public reading. Informal by the fact that I didn't want a full direction behind it, like a director to tell us what to do, because I wanted to treat it kind of like a cold read. Because if you've ever been there for the first day of rehearsal, it is so fun and chaotic, and you get to also just make a choice. And I think that that's beautiful because it allows you to see a work in a different way. Obviously, you can see it whenever it's been really sat with and thought through, but there's something about the first read that's really beautiful to me. So that's what we did with music that we rehearsed and prepared. So whenever I wrote that and then I brought it to people, I was already scared because whenever you write something, it's like giving a little piece of your heart to somebody and being really brave and being like, ta-da, I made a thing. And it brings back that feeling of whenever you were a kid and like you made something and you didn't know if it was any good, but you cared about it and you wanted people to like it. But you also want people to be honest with you, right? Especially whenever it's your work. So then you're dealing with all of that, plus any ego that you happen to have. And in my opinion, I care about myself and I have an ego, but it's not like huge. And so even for me, like it was scary to be like, hey, here's my thing. And like going back to like being a child and that fear of rejection, I think. And a little bit of the fear of success because you don't know what's going to happen if something is successful, right? Then you have put all your hard work and effort into something and how people are going to take it, even if it goes well, you don't know where it's going to go after that. And I think that is a thing both in your own writing and also in performing. Let's say that you become a household name by let's say you book your first Broadway show and you absolutely kill that role in whatever way. And then you get another one because now they want you to originate a role, which is awesome. But then it feels like you're always chasing after the next thing and each thing feels like it gets bigger. And I think that that's where the fear creeps in. Either that you're not enough or that you don't have control over it or that you don't know where it's going. And I feel like I face that all the time, which is why it's a joke but not a joke, that one day my autobiography would be called Kicking and Screaming, because that's, I feel like how you have to approach this business is even if you are stressed out of your mind or terrified or feeling uncomfortable, you got to do it anyway. Because if you don't, then you're never going to know, first off, what could have been. You're also not going to know what you're capable of. You're not going to know how the world would receive your art, would receive your heart, would receive your focus, and like who out there could be inspired by something that you do. And it's that like not knowing that I think is the most important thing to face. Because then you actually get to live a full life and live the life you wanted. And if you just live in the comfortable forever, then you never grow and you become stagnant. And I think that is, to me, one of the scariest things in the world, because you just, like, it's almost like you stop living. And I don't want to do that. So essentially, I wanted to talk about that idea today and the fact, first off, that if you feel like you're kicking and screaming and you don't want to do something, there's probably a reason why you don't want to do it. And it may be valid. Well, actually, it's probably valid. Let's be honest. If you have a reason, then like you can feel however you want to feel. It's just life. But it probably is happening because of something, because of a barrier that's there. And obviously, you can choose whether or not you want to climb over that barrier. But I know that you're not the only one. You're not the only one trying to climb over the barrier. And if you work in the art field, we are out here trying to climb over the barrier together. Even on your birthday. Even on your birthday, trying to grow and be more and create more and be brave. Be more brave. Do the thing. Kicking and screaming. Love you guys. That's my thoughts. Okay, bye.
This episode of To My Younger Artist was hosted by Laura Renee Mehl, with music by Laura and all edits done by Dustin Ciano. Thanks for listening.